Welcome to our springtime series of PawZup for Success. We're excited to share this with you because this is a muddy, wet, sleety, slippery, slidey, puddly time of year. And if you've got dogs, I don't even have to tell you what can happen to your clothes, to your house, to your car, or to you walking on steps, sidewalks, or driveways. So let's get started. Our first springtime show is called Wild and Freeze. Well, actually, it's wild and wet. Depends upon the day, depends upon the temperature. Sometimes the day can go from wild and wet to wild and freeze in an instant, and you're walking your dog. Today's show, we're going to work on what we can do in the community to keep ourselves safe. We're going to work on a tip and a game, and then we're going to go out to a store and actually do some activities that will make a difference. Let's go meet some new friends. What's your favorite thing about having your puppy?
Seeing her succeed in her training and the unconditional love.
Nice.
You know, seeing her happy, making me happy.
Yeah. Cindy, what's your favorite thing about having Tessa?
Same thing. She makes me happy when I see her bouncing around out in the backyard, and she's just wonderful companionship. Yeah.
So you're really glad you got dogs, both of you?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Mary?
Tegan, my favorite thing is all the people that she introduces me to. We like to go for walks, and we meet so many people, and we've spent so much time with other people in obedience classes and at the dog park, and I've developed a lot of nice friendships because of my dog.
You know what I think also about dogs is they really bring people with diverse cultures together. And the dogs are, I mean, if you look at our dogs here, they're all different shapes and sizes and colors and breeds. And they also bring their families together. And you meet people in a dog training class that you would never meet anywhere else. And all of a sudden you find out that you've got commonalities and that you like each other, and you know, and anything that was a difference, it just kind of fades away, and the dogs make that fade away. And I really like that about dogs. Carissa, what about Chloe? What do you like about having Chloe? I mean, obviously she's a big girl.
Yeah.
She probably takes up your whole couch.
She does, and she's a lap dog, so there's that too. But you know, she's my buddy. And not to be too philosophical about it, but I mean, I think we have a real kind of societal, cultural problem with just not being nice to one another and not approaching one another and not, you know, treating each other with respect. And I think you go out with a dog, and I remember when she was a puppy, I noticed this. You know, I was at a busy farmer's market. I brought her with me. Rather than people just kind of shoving, get out of my way. Oh, a dog. Oh, let me see your dog. Oh, tell me about this dog. We socialize better with one another as humans when we are also socializing with canines. I think
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true. People are, you know, if they're not afraid of the dog, and of course these are all very approachable dogs, but even the dangerous breed dogs, when they're trained and when they're in a loving family, they are delightful and they're approachable. Mm-hmm. They're approachable. You know, a lot of them have a bad name or a bad reputation, but in reality, you know, they've got the best smile. I mean, I look at the pit bulls and their smiles are like to die for. You know, their whole body is smiling, their whole body is wiggling and waggling, and some of the nicest dogs I've met actually have been the pit bull breed, which people are afraid of. And you know, I really enjoy training them. I enjoy having classes called Misunderstood But Good, and where we actually put in behaviors for the misunderstood breed that is that you wouldn't necessarily learn, but are ways to keep that dog in control when a human being behaves in a way that is dangerous towards the dog, or the dog misinterprets, and so that the dog is able to react in a way that is safe for the whole community. So, well, I'm really glad you guys came today. I think we should go outside and play. What do you think?
It's a beautiful day.
Ready.
I think they're ready. Who wants to stay indoors, right? I know, exactly. Thank you. Oh, we're going to get more of that. That's good. You know, there's a couple things that happen in the springtime that happen even more than in the rest of the time of the year. One is sniffing. Do either of you have a sniffing dog?
Oh, yes.
Do you have a sniffing dog?
Of course.
So you're going to have the nose to the ground. You know, that you're on this walk, and all of a sudden, you know, everything is coming up. Little rodents are starting to run around. Everything is moving. And these guys don't miss a thing. Their noses do not miss a thing. So, you know, you're going on this walk and you're thinking this is going to be really fun, and now you've got the pulling under control. Well, kind of. But you don't have the sniffing under control, because the sniffing is the whole world is a sniff. I mean, the whole world to a dog is one big sniff. So what I do in that case is I don't take the sniff out of the dog, right? But I make the sniff be a part of the dog's training, all right? So let's say we're going on a walk and the dog wants to sniff everywhere. If you've got a bloodhound, you're in trouble, okay? You've got a basset hound, you're in trouble. But even with these guys, this is a Wheaten Terrier and a Bichon. Maltipoo. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, Dolly. Did I call you the wrong kind? Even they're going to be sniffing too. They're down to the ground and their noses are so different than ours, so you really are going to be expecting it. But what I do is I say, not a good sniff, not a good sniff. And then when I see something that looks like they would like it, I say, let's go sniff. And just stand there and let them sniff all they want. And then when you're all done, you say, all done, let's go. And off they go. And then, nope, not a good sniff. Nope, leave it. No, leave it. Leave it. There's a good sniff. Let's go sniff. You see how that works?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to take the sniff away, but you definitely don't want to be like this all the time, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
Hey, today we're going to visit a store. It's been sloppy, muddy, today's icy, sleety, dangerous on the roads, dangerous to walk on the sidewalks. And Tegan and I are going to go for a walk today and explore a store. There's a few things you need to take with if you're going into any store. It doesn't matter if it's a pet store, a hardware store, any of the other stores in your community. Make sure you bring some yummy treats so that you've got some focus that your dog can have. I've got a few things in my pocket here that are really important. A paper towel. Not all stores have cleanups, and you are responsible for whatever your dog does. So make sure that you bring all the cleanup gear. So Tegan and I are going to get started. Let's go have a good time. Come on, Tegan. It's really important you get a good grip on your dog. Remember, thumb through, hand closed, and a guide hand also. But we're going to show you some things you can do in the store as a training tip to get your dog walking and practicing some skills. Come on, Tegan, let's go. Right. Right. Good girl. Let's go around. Go around. Go around. Good girl. Good girl. Right. Good girl. And sit. Very nice. Cookie? Yeah. There you go. What a good girl. What a good cookie shake. Oh, good shake. How about a down? Can you show me a down? All the way down. Oh, good girl. Get down here. Good. Okay. Let's go for a walk again. Okay. Let's go. Come on. Right. Left. Left. Oh, gotta leave it. Gotta leave it. Good girl. Very nice, Tegan. So you can see some of the things you can do with your dog is you can practice left, right, around. You can practice your sits, your downs, all those things that you've been trying to get your dog to do, and you don't want to do it on the ice. Take it into a store and practice all those things here. Different issues, they may not know what to do because you're in a store with different distractions. But take your dog out and have some good times someplace other than on the ice and giving a broken hip. Thank you. Spring is here. That means some days are dry and some days are wet. And in an instant, it can go from a puddle to ice. We're going to be using some ice melt in our communities, on the sidewalks, on the roads. But it's really important if you've got a dog at your house that you do not use standard ice melt. But you actually get it for the dogs. It helps their feet. It's not toxic for them. There's a lot of things to avoid. If you're walking on the street and there is blue ice melt around, please use a leave it. Leave it, leave it, leave it. Don't let your dog pick that stuff up and start licking it. When you're outside walking, you don't know what kind of ice melt is used to get that ice off the streets or sidewalks. And so when you come home, make sure that you take some time to wash your dog's paws. You don't want that tracking into your house, but more importantly, you don't want it on your dog's paws and burning them. Seriously think about getting some ice melt that's made specifically for animals. Something that won't burn their paws for your own driveways, for your own homes, for your own sidewalks. You know, carrying a basket isn't something you do all the time. Getting your dog used to carrying a basket, having it come before them, putting it down, picking it up, all of those kinds of things are good learning experiences for your dog. Make sure, however, when you pick it up, that you've got your leash with you at all times. Come on, Tegan, let's go shopping. Hi, Tegan, guess what I have here? I have a chew ball. I always like to have chewies, especially for puppies, because they like to bite and nibble. This is probably one of my favorite toys. It's inexpensive, it's contained. They can put their teeth in here, and actually what you'll see with a 5-month-old puppy, 4 to 5-month-old puppy, is they lose their teeth in the chew ball. I usually put this in a ramen soup or a chicken bouillon or beef bouillon, something they're not allergic to. Some dogs are, a lot of them may be allergic to chicken. And then I freeze it in the freezer, so it's actually a good teething ring for the puppies, and it keeps them out of trouble. Oh, hi Tegan. Tegan, look what I have. Oh, do you see friends down there? Look what I have. Tegan's interested in the people down the hall. You know what? That's what happens. Stores are filled with distractions. Sometimes you need distractions for chewing too. This is one I call Chewy. It's one of my favorite chew balls. What it is it's a contained rope ball, very inexpensive. Allows them to chew and nibble, and especially when they're 4 and 5 months old, they actually can lose their teeth in here, so you're not having teeth on your floor that you pick up the bottom of your sole of your foot. But what I do to keep them interested is I put it in a soup broth, and not soak it so soaky, but just get a little bit of a scent, put it in the freezer and freeze it. When they start biting on you, they get to have Chewy. Okay. Hey Tegan, guess what day it is? It's bath day. We're gonna go get a bath. Tegan, sit. Okay, before you go into a door, it's very nice to have your dog sit next to you, even if they pop up again. Tegan, sit. Thank you. You put your foot in front of the door to block them from going in first. Nuh-uh, wait. Let's go. What do you think of this? Yeah, there were doggies in here, weren't there? It's important that your dog gets to check things out before you just throw them in a bathtub. This also has a grate down the bottom of it, so they're walking on something that's very different than what they're already used to. Before I put the water or shampoo and start all the commotion with Tegan, I'm going to let Tegan have some time in here so that Tegan's not afraid. I want Tegan to be used to this place. This is a place she's going to have to come for the rest of her life, probably, unless I can get her in my bathtub. And it's important that she feels comfortable in here, that we don't scare her. The tools used for bathing are noisy. And it's unfair to just turn on a vacuum cleaner. Well, not a vacuum cleaner, it's actually a blower. Many dogs are afraid of vacuum cleaners. This is a blower, same sound. So what you want to do is you want to introduce this sound away from the dog. You do not want them to, and don't just put that right on the dog. Allow the dog to get used to it. Feel free to give treats and make it comfortable for the dog. If you're going to be using a bath for the rest of the life of the dog, you don't want to put fear in right at the beginning. These bathing things are awesome, and it's very nice to just, when you've been out in the road, when you've been out in the woods, instead of going home to your house where there's all kinds of mud coming into the door, just come right to the bath and get it done before you even walk in your house. These can be kind of scary for a dog, these steps. So I'm not making Tegan walk up them right away. I'm actually introducing them to her with a treat right on the stairs. Tegan, you want to try it? Come on up. You want to try it? Come on up. Nope, Tegan's not having any part of this. So if she's not having any part of this and I want to get her into the tub, I'm going to hold her carefully. I'm going to come under her chest, under her rump, pick her up with my legs, not my back, and hold her securely. This is a hold that the dog can be in easily. And I'll introduce her into the tub safely and let go of her after her feet are down. Hi. Well, what do you think? What do you think? You want to get out? You don't want to stay in there? Okay. Again, under the rump, and a secure hold so that she's feeling totally confident. You don't want her dangerous. Good girl, Tegan. Good girl. You're going to be ready for a bath pretty soon, aren't you? Sure, I'll never know who you're going to find in a pet store. And sometimes we have little visitors walking around in their little balls. Now that's a very good leave-it to practice with your dog, because your dog has no right going after that little guy running around the store. This is his store. Some of the things you can work on in the store is leave it. Leave it. Good girl. Just stop in a corner. Leave it. Good girl. Leave it. Thank you. Leave it. Thank you. And you can play touch games. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Oh, that's a paw touch. You see a nose touch. Thank you. Touch. Thank you. Okay, shake. Thank you, very nice. Very good job, Tegan. You did a great job today, and I appreciate you coming to the store and helping us. So you can see there's a lot of things you can do at a store and just have a good time.
Okay. All right, so welcome to PawZup Just Sex today, and I've got an emotional support dog with me. Daisy's a puppy, and she's obviously a Shar-Pei, and she's wonderfully delightful. But her job, she's going to be a working dog, and her job is going to be working with her girl, her woman, and she's going to help her be able to calm and do some things. So we're going to talk to her mom about. We've got Linda here, and Linda is Daisy's handler and mom, because often what we do is we have a triad, and that means that Linda will be responsible for Daisy's care, she'll be responsible for Daisy's safety, and she'll be responsible for Daisy's overall training while she's learning and growing and becoming an emotional support dog for her daughter. So can you tell me a little bit about Daisy? This is Linda.
Sure. She's almost 5 months old.
Wow.
And we got her when she was 11 weeks. And my daughter was used to this calm little puppy, baby puppy, and then Daisy was not calm. She was pretty much like this. So it's been hard for her to attach, but she has anxiety. And what Daisy's going to do, we hope, is to help her calm and go with her to school. She'll be going with her to school or out in the community.
Yeah.
One thing my daughter said is she didn't realize that having an unusual breed is going to attract so much attention.
Oh, that's true. And she's got all those wrinkles, and she's so cute.
Oh,
That's
it's
right.
fun.
That's right. And dogs are, I mean, some of the guys are saying, well, I'm using my emotional support dog as a chick magnet.
Oh, that would work.
It would work, yeah, because it was a point of where they could talk to a girl, and it was something that, you know. But also, I mean, what the dog learns to do is to settle your daughter down. I mean,
Yes.
you know, it's a focal point. It's a place for her to look. In cases where I am training for emotional support dogs or for service dogs, they actually are taught to lap or nuzzle, and so they come right up and we'll do a calming influence right away if they need it. We go out to the schools and look for exact sitting positions so that we know where to sit, and we pick our seating, and we actually practice in schools so that that's all prepared for them. It's not a surprise. And the teachers know where the person's going to sit in this kind of a designated seating. You are just such a sweetie. You are. Yes, you are such a sweetie. You are. So what have you found having this puppy? Because you're starting with a puppy, and you're not starting with an emotional support dog that's already trained. You're taking it from the very beginning and trying to make this happen. And you've got a house full of kids and a very busy household of complex children and family. And so how has she? And she's got another dog, right?
Right. She has a 6-year-old.
So tell me all about all those troubles that you imported into your house by bringing in a puppy.
Well, I realized she is like a 2-year-old toddler.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can't go in the shower without figuring, okay, where is she going to be? What is she going to get into? That kind of things. But she does well with our 6-year-old. She's learned when to back off.
Nice.
Yeah, and still, they play together really great. We have a 4-year-old grandson that was over, and she hadn't been around kids, so I was worried about that.
And 4-year-olds are much more flappy. They're moving around. Their bodies are more rigid and movement at the same time.
And
yeah.
she did awesome. I was right there because I've heard things, don't go in their space.
Yep.
Give her face space, that kind of thing. And they were wrestling together, did awesome. It was like 2 4-year-olds, playing. She was having a great time. Both of them were, so I was really amazed at that. She's accepted everybody that's come in the house, whether it's an older person, adult, or like I said, a 4-year-old, which kind of surprised me, being she hadn't been around all that many people.
All that many people and all that energy.
Right.
Because I bet there are days that your house has a lot of energy.
A lot, a lot, with kids coming over and.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this little girl has an incredible disposition. I mean, she's just got that calm personality that you don't see all the time. She just brings that calmness, and I think your daughter's going to really feel that when she gets a little bit older. You're going to have to go through puppy time, and then you go through her teen years. And teen years don't last as long as they do for real teenagers, but from about 5 months, just to warn you, 5 months till about 18 months, you are in teenage time.
That's a long time.
That's a lot.
Not as long as, like you said, people, but
Not as long as people, but it is a long time. She's going to be a great emotional support dog. And the thing is that your daughter will, as time goes on, as she starts training her one-on-one, it's going to be her time. The initial training of a puppy is hard. I mean, there's, you're going from not understanding any English words, and of course we expect them to learn English, and then you go from that part to beginning to be cute, and then also learning about her person. That's a hard thing. So, your daughter will get into that once. Now she's got some basic skills. It's going to be easier for her to just jump in and say, oh, I can work with her. I can work with that dog. And the more she gets rewarded by, oh, she's a smart girl. Daisy's a smart dog. And then she's going to start feel edified, and she'll be able to do it too. So.
And I have noticed she's smart. We've been with you for a few times, and she's picked up on commands just like that. The trick is to do it at home too.
Well, and remember, when you go from a class to home, what happens is that class, you are in, like in this case, we're in the studio, but if we were in the store, then you'll be in the store, or you'll be in a learning center or a training center, and you've got you have to think about their environment here. Here we've got a little bit different stage setup every single time, but in the store we've got, the aisles, we've got people coming in, and they get used to that environment. At home you've got kids coming in, and you've got, life changing in that way. It's every time you change the setup, they don't generalize. So what they learn here, and they're really good at, you go home and you go, well, where did your brain go, Daisy? I thought you had a good brain. And she does. You just have to reteach it. So where we started in the beginning of the day, that's where you start teaching her again.
Okay.
Yeah. She's awesome. I'm really glad you've got her here, and it's going to be fun to share her today and in the next coming days of what she can do. So, Daisy, you're a good girl. You are a good girl. Yes, you are. So thank you.
So thank you for having us.
Yeah. Wow, did you hear that big thunderstorm last night? Oh, how did these guys do? How'd you guys do with the thunder?
Well, I'm lucky. Tegan is not responsive to loud noises, so she slept through. I woke up, but she slept through.
She's just sleeping, huh? How did Dolly do?
Oh, Dolly is terrified.
Really?
Yes,
What does
thunder.
she do?
She jumps on me. She wants to be held, or if we're in bed, she wants to lay on top of me. And
At least she's
shivers.
little.
At least she's little. But she's very afraid of thunder.
A lot of dogs are. I had a dog once that always went behind the toilet. Oh, I mean, think about it. Ran to the bathroom and went behind a toilet, and I've had a dog that also jumped in the bathtub. You think about a safety place, they're not so dumb, right? The other thing is, you've got to realize your dogs hear thunder a lot earlier than we do. So if we can catch that, there's a storm coming, we know that something's going to be happening, as soon as you hear that rumble, you can actually start a party. Oh, big noise, let's go, and give a treat. Oh, big noise, and as it gets closer and closer, make it a bigger party, so that it's not this, all of a sudden, we're ignoring it, and then it's like kaboom, and it's like everybody's under the bed, everybody's up in the couch, everybody's behind the toilet, wherever they have to go to hide. There are ways that you can work with the dog, and we'll work on some ideas with that. Yes, sir, Dolly, you don't have to be so scared. It's okay, you don't have to be so scared about that. Lots of dogs are, though. It's all right. Lots of dogs can be scared. But, one of the things is the dog goes under the bed, right? Now think about it. You've got your dog under the bed. The dog is scared. Is it wise to pull your dog out from under the bed?
No.
No, because that dog is scared. You reach under, it's possible you're going to get bit. And you don't want to be bit by your dog who's scared and petrified under the bed. So please, if your dog is under the bed or hiding behind the toilet or hiding under a chair, give that dog some space for a while. You might be able to soothe it some other ways, like bringing a blanket, sitting near it, talking nicely, and then start working some issues, working some noises. Loud things that bother dogs are often vacuum cleaners, gunshots, obviously, thunder, and firecrackers, which we're going to come into the spring, 4th of July firecrackers. So. Have either of you guys ever put booties on your dogs?
Actually, I have. My lab, when I had my lab, injured his foot and had to have surgery, and so we had to cover it. And at the time, they didn't have all the fancy boots that they have now. What we had was a leather boot that had holes in it for the nails to go through, and then you tied it up around his foot.
Oh, interesting.
I bought them for one of my other dogs, but she would just take them off immediately. So she wasn't a good candidate for boots.
Well, and there are a lot of boots out there right now.
Different kinds.
There are lots of different kinds. A lot of times they slip off, and when they get them on their feet, they look like toot, 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 toot. They're so funny. It's so funny to look. But they get used to them. They get used to walking in the boots. Why you would use boots in the summertime would be for the heat. Sometimes people will put boots on if they're walking on black asphalt, because it can be very, very hot for a dog and it can burn their feet. You do not want their paws burnt. In the wintertime, it's cold. I mean, they're walking, even though their paws are heated, they're walking in some really cold, you know, they're working on the sidewalk, they're walking on the snow. If you're going for a long walk, it's nice to have that kind of thing for your dog. Not all dogs need them, but some dogs are genetically bred for warmer climates. Those dogs definitely can use a coat. I mean, Chihuahuas are a good example of often needing additional warmth. You know, obviously I got warmth on today. It's springtime. I'm not wearing my t-shirt yet. You've got your jacket on. You know, you've got a sweater on. It's not unusual for a dog to have to wear something that would keep them warm. Now, Tegan probably loves the snow and doesn't need a coat.
Definitely no coat for her.
You know, and I would bet Dolly, when she's groomed short,
She needs a coat.
she needs a coat. But when she's woolly and before she gets her spring groom, she's happy.
Then
but
she's fine.
But when she's groomed, what happens then?
Then she needs a coat because she gets so cold.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't want to go out. So
And then you don't get the potty outside,
Right.
and
We
then you
need
get.
to-
So in that case, having a coat, so let's go outside and go potty, put the coat on and go out, makes it easier for her to keep doing the same thing every time.
And then she gets so she likes wearing her sweater in the house too on winter days.
Oh, she does
Yes,
like it.
She does. She feels cozy.
It does. It can feel cozy. And you know something else? Sometimes the sweaters, and we can talk also about thunder shirts and some of they do a little bit of compression.
Yes.
And when that happens, it just makes them feel a little more snuggly, cozy, safe, and that's a really good thing. I've used a lot of the shirts that are containment shirts.
Yes.
And they're the kind of shirts that are used also for people that have that need also, that they wear a shirt underneath that's just a little bit tighter, that just gets them their day a little bit more smooth when they're not all flapping around, when things are a little bit tighter for them. So that's kind of how dogs feel too.
Jody, the other thing that I found with friends that have adopted dogs recently from rescues is a lot of the dogs are coming from down south.
Oh, they are. That's
And
true.
so
Kentucky,
they're not
Tennessee.
acclimated to Minnesota winters. And so their dogs need a lot more coverage the first year, possibly the second year, than they will once they're here longer.
That's true. They're not acclimated to this kind of weather.
Exactly.
And that can pull into some of the issues of going potty outside. You know, if they don't like that cold weather, that can be a problem. Remember we were talking about compression with the shirts, and let's say it's a tornado coming, and your dog is scared. Its dog has been scared for a while, and it is under the bed, and you need to get that dog out, right? What I want you to do is see if you can get a treat to the dog, but once you get that dog available, wrap that dog in a towel or a blanket. You may even need to muzzle the dog to keep yourself safe during the time, but wrap it up tightly in a blanket and hold it, you know, if you've got that opportunity. For a bigger dog, knowing that that's coming, get your safe place and practice your safe place right now. I mean, you know where you're going to go, you know how you're going to escape, you know what you're going to do. Go down and say, oh, big boom, let's go, or tornado, let's go, and practice it just like you do with children. Don't expect your animals to be able to harbor that energy and get through it easily. So get them downstairs, get them show them where they're going to be, get them in a safe place, and get them used to it before that kind of thing happens. Thank you for watching PawZup for Success. I hope we've changed some of your thinking and given you some new ideas to have fun with your canine. I hope children are more safe, and I hope the community is more safe. Dogs are special. They're a great part of creation, and I'm just so grateful that they're part of my life. I hope you're grateful they're part of yours.